Dr. Kethvar had spent the better part of 3 standard cycles studying the newest additions to the Galactic Council's database, humans. As the lead xenobiologist for the Zephyrian Institute, she prided herself on understanding the evolutionary quirks of every species they'd encountered. But humans? They were an enigma wrapped in soft pink flesh. "Look at this," she muttered to her research partner, clicking her mandibles in frustration. The holographic display showed a human anatomical chart next to those of other council species. No natural armor plating like the Caraxians. No chitinous exoskeleton like us Zephyrians. No reinforced bone density like the thorax. They're just soft. Her partner, Dr. Yelm, adjusted his crystalline eye stalks. Perhaps they evolved in an unusually peaceful environment? No natural predators? Kethvar pulled up Earth's biological records. Hardly. Their homeworld was populated with creatures called lions, bears, and something nightmarish called hippos. The data suggests their ancestors were persistent hunters who literally ran their prey to death across vast distances. Then how did they survive long enough to develop intelligence? The question haunted Kethvar until the incident 3 weeks later. The research station Kepler-7 had suffered a catastrophic hull breach during a routine stellar observation. Emergency protocols activated, sealing off the damaged sections, but Dr. Marcus Chen, the human xenobiologist assigned to their joint research project, had been trapped in the compromised section. "He's been in there for 6 hours," reported Commander Vorthok, his scaled hide rippling with anxiety. "Atmospheric pressure is at 30%. Temperature has dropped to -40 degrees Celsius. Even with emergency oxygen, no species in the Council could survive those conditions." Kethvar watched the environmental readings with growing amazement. The human's vital signs were stable. Elevated, certainly, but stable. His body temperature had dropped significantly, yet his cellular functions continued. Most remarkably, his oxygen consumption had decreased, as if his metabolism had somehow downshifted to conservation mode. When the rescue team finally cut through to reach Dr. Chen, they found him conscious, methodically documenting the atmospheric readings with scientific precision despite his clearly hypothermic state. "Fascinating data," he said through chattering teeth as they wrapped him in thermal blankets. "The human body's response to extreme cold is quite remarkable when you experience it firsthand." The medical base examination revealed the impossible. Dr. Chen had suffered no permanent damage. His core temperature had dropped to levels that would kill most council species, yet his brain function remained intact. His blood had somehow prevented crystallization, and his extremities, though numb, showed no signs of frostbite. "How?" Kethvar demanded as Chen sipped hot chocolate, looking remarkably well for someone who should have been dead. "Evolution," he replied simply. "Our ancestors survived ice ages, scorching deserts, and everything in between. We don't need armor because our bodies are incredibly adaptable. We can survive in temperatures that would kill most species, go without food for weeks, and recover from injuries that would be fatal to others." "How?" Kethvar demanded as Chen sipped hot chocolate, looking remarkably well for someone who should have been dead. "Evolution," he replied simply. "Our ancestors survived ice ages, scorching deserts, and everything in between. We don't need armor because our bodies are incredibly adaptable. We can survive in temperatures that would kill most species, go without food for weeks, and recover from injuries that would be fatal to others." The news reached Earth through quantum channels 3 days after the incident. Lieutenant Sarah Chena, diplomatic attaché aboard the neutral trading station Kepler 442, had been murdered by Zephyrian extremists during what should have been routine peace negotiations. She was the first human to die at alien hands since humanity joined the Galactic Federation 50 years ago. Admiral Marcus Kane stood before the United Earth Command Council, his weathered face carved from stone. The holographic display showed Chen's final moments, a young woman who had dedicated her life to interspecies diplomacy, gunned down while trying to protect Zephyrian civilians from their own radicals. "1 human," muttered Counselor Webb, shaking his head. "They killed 1 human and think there will be no consequences?" Kane's jaw tightened. "They don't understand us yet, do they?" The Zephyrian Empire had ruled their sector for millennia, crushing dozens of species beneath their military might. They viewed the recent attack as a minor incident, regrettable, perhaps, but hardly worthy of their attention. Their ambassador's message to Earth was dismissive. The death of a single individual should not disrupt the greater peace. They had no idea what they had just awakened. Within hours, Earth's response began. Not with declarations of war or angry ultimatums, but with something far more terrifying: silence. Every human diplomat, trader, engineer, and scientist in Zephyrian space simply vanished. Transport ships changed course mid-flight. Communication channels went dark. The vast network of human expertise that had quietly integrated itself into Zephyrian society over 5 decades disappeared overnight. The Zephyrian Minister of Trade was the first to panic. "Where are our hyperspace engineers?" he demanded. 90% of their FTL maintenance crew were human contractors. Without them, their merchant fleet was grounded within a week. Their power grids followed next. Human-designed fusion reactors began shutting down in sequence as automated systems triggered lockout protocols. The Zephyrians had never bothered to learn the technology themselves. Why would they, when humans were so eager to share their knowledge? But it was the medical crisis that truly broke them. Dr. Elizabeth Harper's revolutionary treatments for Zephyrian genetic disorders had saved millions of lives over the past decade. Every major hospital relied on human-manufactured medications and human-trained specialists. When the supply chain evaporated, panic swept through their worlds.